These types of questions are very dangerous, and if you are asking them as a beginner and someone just getting started, you are putting yourself in a very risky spot, whether that be from losses, frustration, headaches, or worst of all, a false sense of how the markets work, how trading works. You just want to avoid these sorts of situations, and you avoid these sorts of situations by asking the right type of question. So in order to ask the right type of question, let's focus on a wrong type of question. And if you avoid these, then hopefully avoiding the wrong type will lead you to asking the right type. So I had an interaction, and keep a close eye on things and see if you can identify where this person is putting themselves in a very risky position via their line of questioning. Ramos says, does it matter the amount of contract? I wasn't sure what he meant, so I had to ask, what do you mean? No, nothing new here. He's just asking a question. It was a pretty broad question, but I needed a little bit more clarity. So I ask, and now keep a close eye out for really just a single word. He then says, like one contract is enough, or do I gotta buy 3+ like in options? Do you see the word? Do you see the word? Like one contract is enough? Now this may not seem like a lot, but let's just explore this a little deeper. So first off, the type of question that is very dangerous, non-defined questions, questions with non-defined terms. What do I mean by non-defined terms? Well, in this situation, enough. Is this enough, or do I need to do more? Well, I don't know what is enough for you. So here's the dangerous part. Let's say that I'm not thinking that deeply into things, and I just go with my assumption, my definition of enough. And let's say, well, for me to make it enough to have it worthwhile, I want to make $1,000 per day. So in order for me, well then my definition of enough for the amount of contracts is going to be way different than Ramos, who, let's just say Ramos is enough for him to have it be worth his time is $100 a day. So we are now operating at two different definitions of what is enough. My enough is based on $1,000 per day. His enough is based on $100 per day. But he doesn't specify that. He just throws out there, well, is it enough? In other words, he lets me define enough. And if I am not aware enough, no pun intended, then I could very well start to attribute my definitions to him, which may not have anything to do with what he wants to accomplish. It may not fit into his personal risk tolerance. It may not fit into any of his goals, but he has not defined the core of, well, what would be enough for him? Now, if he had said, hey, I'm looking to make $100 per day, so is one contract enough for this, or should I be doing like 3 like I do in options? Right, that's a much different conversation. That's a much more narrowed down question because he has defined what would be enough for him. But when you ask these non-defined words and leave them in there, then you are potentially, like I said, and let's keep it, and I'm not even, let's just say I do lead him astray. I lead him to the slaughterhouse because I base it on my definition of enough, and then he goes and does it, and then he gets slaughtered. But in all actuality, it's not like I did that maliciously. I just assumed, well, enough for me, and then you tell him. So, I mean, the point here is that they're dangerous because even the most well-intentioned person could still potentially lead you to the slaughterhouse. It's not like the person's got to be malicious or have bad intentions in order to lead you to the slaughterhouse. They could be totally trying to help you. But unless they're kind of somebody like me that's been working with people for a long time, and I'm very, particular about each and every word, then, and I'm not saying everybody's like that, but like I said, that's how kind of the channel has worked over the years and being a coach, teacher, whatever you want to call me. But like I said, be very careful. You've got to define those words. In this situation, it was enough. So I tried to explain this to him, hey, it depends on your goals and risk tolerance, but it still wasn't any help. As Ramos then just said, hey, you know what? No help. So I apologize, Ramos, that I didn't appear to help you, but I assure you, Ramos, I did help you. I gave you the right answer because is that amount of contracts enough? Well, I don't know. That depends on your goals. It depends on your strategy. So I understand that from your angle, from your shoes, it seems like I was just being sketchy. I wasn't giving you a good answer, but I gave you the right answer. I gave you the true answer because you asked a very dangerous, with all due respect, bad question because you did not define your terms, specifically what is enough for you, Ramos. Had you defined what was enough, then I would have a much better idea of, well, okay, yeah, what kind of contract size would that actually take? So keep that in mind when you're asking questions to anybody. And make sure that you're not asking these non-defined questions. Make sure you're defining terms, you're defining situations so that the person answering you can give you a much more pinpointed answer. So non-defined questions, avoid at all costs, because truly they're dangerous and they can cause you a lot of headaches, a lot of pain, and potentially financial losses, and even worse of all, a distorted reality of how trading actually works. And you don't want that. So defined questions, those are the good ones. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.